Planning to study in Australia in February-March 2024 intake. This is the video you might not afford to miss, as I'm going to give you a timeline for each month and the things you need to do in order to make the whole process a breeze. Are you ready? Let's go. So we will be starting off with the month of October and then we'll move forward until February-March. And again, in each month, we'll give you the things that you will be needing to plan or needed to do. So first month, let's get into October. So this is the month where we'll start deciding on few things. So the first thing will be career goal. Before you even start thinking about studying in Australia or rather any other country, I want you to start thinking what your career goals are. What do you want to achieve after studying overseas? Because that will dictate a lot of factors. See, many students decide to study overseas without much planning. But if you are watching this video, I'm pretty sure that you are someone who likes to plan things ahead of time. So it's very important that you give a clear thought process behind why you're choosing to study overseas. Or for some people, it might be just better to do a course in their home country as well. So consider that factor as your first step before you're choosing to study overseas. So if you have decided that career goals, let's move on to the next thing, which is about researching. So here you're gonna research many things. That includes the country you're planning to study. Of course, we talk always about Australia. So we suggest you that you look into Australia as one of your key destinations to study overseas, but there are many other countries as well available, so you have to make a comparison which one will suit you better. The next thing you have to do is to research about your course. Which course are you planning to study? So it will depend upon your personal interest, your career goals, and also always a smart idea to research about scope of that course in the country you're planning to study it as well. Just in case if you decide to stay in the country after your studies, it's very important to understand if that course has any future scope in that country itself. We have got plenty of details on that in our previous videos, so highly recommend you to check some of the recent previous videos about it as well. So the next thing you need to do a research on is the university. There are plenty of universities to choose from, so you have to consider your budget and many other things as well. And of course that the course that you're planning to study is available in that university as well. Then you also have to think about the city. Which city are you planning to choose? There are so many beautiful cities here in Australia: Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Gold Coast, Perth, Adelaide, Hobart, Darwin, Canberra. So there are plenty of options to choose from. There are obviously different benefits of studying in different cities, so please consider that when choosing your city also. Then you should also do a research on scholarships available. Now international students can get scholarships on their studies, so it will depend upon whether you can apply for Australian government scholarship or you could apply for the university scholarship itself. Sometimes some private providers also do scholarships as well. We have a complete guide on fully funded scholarships that you can apply as an international student. We'll leave a link of that in the description box below, so make sure to check that after watching this video. And very importantly, you also need to do a research on your education agent. Most of the students apply for their student visas through an education agent. It's very important that you choose a reliable education agent. Of course, you can find many good agents out there, but there are some dodgy ones as well. So you need to do a research and try to meet few of them. Don't get stuck with the first one itself. So once you have researched all these things, the next part is about planning. This is very important as you need to decide upon the finances here, which is how you're gonna support yourself when you're studying in Australia. That includes your tuition fee and your living expenses as well, because you also need to demonstrate that to Australian government that you have enough money to support yourself while you're studying here. So you probably need to make some budgets and also need to see some finances of your family or yourself. And if you don't have enough money yourself, you may need to look into getting some loan or some other finance options, which obviously you have to decide if it's a right fit for you. And also you have to start looking at the application deadlines for your university. In the month of October itself, you need to do some actions as well in order to plan things better. So the first thing will be to start gathering all the documentation. That could be in regards to your studies, like your academic qualifications, certificates, in regards to your finances, in regards to your work experiences, references, and so on. So start collecting that in the month of October itself. And if you haven't already done it or haven't booked it yet, it's time to book your English test as well. Most of the international students coming from non-English speaking backgrounds must take an English test. That includes IELTS, PTE, TOEFL. So it's a good idea to book that in the month of October nice and early. Now these were some of the things you need to do in the month of October. We are moving to November now. Now in this month, you're got to finalize some of these things that we mentioned earlier. That includes the country you want to study, the course, your university, and the city as well. Of course, you also need to finalize your education agent as well, because most likely you're going to do that process through them. Now in this month, we're going to get started with few of the application processes. That includes applying for an offer letter from the university. Once you have received an offer letter, you need to accept it. And once the offer letter is accepted, you usually need to pay your fee and get your COE sorted as well, which is confirmation of enrollment. Also, if you need to get any finance sorted, it's a good idea to start that loan application process in this month itself. Apart from that, you need to prepare a few other things like statement of purpose. Sometimes universities may request you to send it over when you're sending your university application. You may have to prepare for GTE, genuine temporary entrant. You need to also start looking for options for your student health cover, which is OSHC. There are obviously medical examinations and some interviews that your university might ask you to come for as well. So you need to prepare for some of these things, and very importantly, apply before the deadlines that your university have. The reason why November is such an important month, because December onwards there will be some holidays that you need to be mindful of, and some of the offices, universities and colleges will be closed for some time during December and January. So we want to get those things done ahead of time in order to make the process easier. For December, it is time to book your health examination if you haven't done so already. Most of the students usually need to undertake a medical examination or a test, so it's a good idea to book it before you apply for your visas, and then get your OSHC also sorted as well before you apply for your visa. And if you got all the documents sorted already, it's time to lodge your visa application. Department of Home Affairs recommend that students should apply for their visas at least 6 weeks before the start of the course. So applying it during early or mid-December is a good time to get that sorted. Now once you have applied for your visas, it's not a time to relax, because there are a few other things you need to do while you wait for the visa outcome. That includes starting planning for travel plans. How are you going to arrive in Australia? What sort of airline you might choose? Also, you need to be mindful of airport transfer from the city you're arriving in to your accommodation. I suggest you better start looking for accommodation as soon as possible as well, and start preparing yourself for part-time jobs in Australia. So I suggest you that you start preparing your resume. If you need a template, we have got you sorted again. Check the link in the description box. There is a free template for resume and a cover letter as well. And also start looking for some part-time jobs available on different websites. There are plenty of useful websites, and we have mentioned some of the websites in our previous videos as well. So please make sure to check them out. And if you want to get started on some short courses, there are plenty of short courses you can look into. We will put a link of some of the short courses that you can undertake as well that we have mentioned in one of our articles. So please make sure to check that via the link we have put in the description box below. Now we are into the new year in January 2024. Hopefully in this month you'll get your visa outcome, and hopefully it will be a positive response where you get your visa approved. And if that's the case, then it's time to start attending any pre-departure information sessions. Some education agents actually organize these pre-departure sessions for students to let them know the things they need to do. You also need to finalize your travel plan after you have got your visa. So you need to book your flight, you need to also book your airport transfer and your accommodation as well. It is a little bit difficult these days to get an accommodation, so highly recommend you to start looking into your accommodation options and start booking them nice and early as well. And if all those things are sorted, it's time to start packing your bags. And for that, we have got a complete checklist on our website as well. So any basic requirements including electronics, clothing, household items, we've got all of them in this checklist. So you can download that for free from our website. Again, you'll find that in the description box below. Now we are putting February, March together as we don't know when you will actually be starting the classes, because some universities start their classes in the month of February while some may start it in early March itself. So February, March will be the arrival time. So it will be good if you can arrive a few weeks before the start of the class. Now after arriving as well, you got few things to do, such as opening up a new bank account, getting your TFN sorted, getting a SIM card. There are plenty of things you need to do after arriving. Again, we have a video on that as well about the things you need to do after arriving. And for your educational institute, you also need to to attend an orientation session, which is about understanding how the education system works here in Australia and things specific to your course as well. And usually you will need to enroll into your classes for the course and get your student ID sorted as well. And once all those things are sorted, congratulations, it's time to start studying. Now it seems pretty easy as I've gone through all these steps, but there's a lot of effort involved in this whole process. So I was one of those persons who have gone through the whole process myself, and it is a bit of challenging process to go through, especially when you're waiting for the visa outcome. It can be really challenging time. So I highly recommend you to start planning these things properly to make the whole process smoother for yourself. And very importantly, please choose a course that you really want to study. There are some new restrictions that have come into place that restrict students to changing their course until they have completed at least first 6 months of the course. And there are some other changes that might be coming in the few weeks. And if there are any updates, as always, we'll let you know about it. Now, we have a complete guide about studying in Australia. It's 190 page long, but it's not that boring guide. We have got a very infographic style guide. You can download it for free from our website. And I'm confident to say that whoever has downloaded that guide has made a really good use out of it. So please feel free to download that guide. I highly recommend you to do so. And if you are someone who's planning to study in Australia and want to know how to get a job within first week of arriving in Australia, then I recommend you to watch this video where I explain step by step the things you need to do before arriving and after arriving in Australia. So please go ahead and watch that video, and I'll see you there. All the best.